What is the #1 game ever? Have you heard that Tetris, Doom, Legend of Zelda, GTA 5, and even Minecraft were all beaten in the clash as the best game of all time? And there were 50 more on the list. But the game that was crowned by the Golden Joystick Award of 2021, with the title as Ultimate Game of All Time, is no other than Dark Souls. So get ready, since after watching this video, you will discover what made this game a cut above the rest, and here's where its legacy had all begun. So whenever the word Dark Souls was mentioned, what came first in your mind? If you have played it already, then was it the countless times you had failed the same stage over and over again? Or perhaps the masterpiece level of game storytelling and the feeling of being immersed right away? Well, if you haven't tried this game, then at least you have maybe heard that unlike other games, which are pretty predictable, then Dark Souls is the latter and is hard like hell, and which literally made the first-timers never attempt playing it again after their first try. So how come Dark Souls claimed its mantle as the #1 game ever? Well, more than a decade ago, it was first released on PS3 and Xbox 360. Since then, it has received 2 other sequels, and has become one of the most influential video games that even birthed a genre called Souls-like, and inspired the overall modern game settings. And yet while Dark Souls gameplay was quite disturbing and haunting, both in combat and aesthetic terms, still its game world was an absolute masterstroke. As for many Souls fans, the interconnected game elements, the lore, the narrative, the characters that were sprawling like an enigma, were all bounded together, creating a beautiful mess, breathing much of a lifelike experience rather than just a game. That's why for many players, Dark Souls stands apart from any other video game setting, as the game was filled with these subtle but emotional moments tied up in the game's core themes of death and despair. While other games might opt for an easygoing, spoon-fed, CGI-heavy and the good guy versus bad guy scheme that has filled the market since the last decade, in Dark Souls, you're on your own, with nothing to rely on except your skills, your will, and your sword that would be crucial on the way to exploring its thrilling and twisted world. And during its pre-release, the absence of walkthrough and guides, while some had even resorted to group study and brainstorming as they excitingly swapped tips with each other, just to get past the bosses and scenarios, all while pondering how the hell they'll be able to finish this ridiculously impassable game. However, still Dark Souls has failed to land and impress a broader scope of audiences at first. But over time, it slowly garnered a cult-like status, bringing mass panic, hysteria, and anticipation, while growing in stature as a forefather of the modern gaming scene. So to be crowned as the ultimate game of all time, Dark Souls won against some pretty serious contenders, such as the most influential FPS game of all time, Doom, and even the best-selling game of all time, Minecraft. Well, maybe that's why it's not too much to picture why Dark Souls was the #1 game ever. You've just discovered an amazing story about what is the #1 game ever. And now click this and discover the next amazing story.